Okay. I just want to make sure that I am live everywhere where I need to be live. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is Jose Mokwena. I'm your host, and this, of course, is a place where we love South African football, we love African football, and every now and then we go overseas. Yeah, if I'm gonna go overseas this week, sikhuluma kanje masibulisane estradeni sithi Ghana's are up, Bucharest off the mark, guys. Okay, so anyway, guys, thank you. Welcome to the show. Remember, the show is on every Monday, Tuesday, and this week it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And then, of course, if Chiefs, Pirates, Mamelodi, Sundowns, Banyana, Bafana are in action, I will be here live. We'll be doing watch-alongs, guys. If it's your first time here, this is a very interactive show where you can jump in and actually speak to me live. By pressing the multi-guest button on TikTok. So those watching on YouTube, if you're always hearing voices of people who are speaking, head on over to TikTok. Remember, you have to be following me on TikTok at Overthinking Football. Bottom of the screen, press the multi-guest button. It's got a blue figure hugging a pink figure. I let you in, and we have a conversation about whatever it is that we're going to be talking about. Obviously, the talk of the town has to be the MTN8 semi-final, second leg between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. A game that was won by Orlando Pirates. Surprise, surprise. Jiggy, jiggy. Hey, Sundowns. All I know is that Sundowns are shame. Hopefully, Caroso agaboni career kwe Sundowns emathuneni. But guys, they had the game. It was 1-1. It ended 1-1 on the day. 2-2 over the two legs, and then of course Pirates winning 4-1 on penalties with Sipho Chain looking at the other best penalty taker and best penalty saver and saying, guys, I'm also here. So we're going to be speaking about that today. But I want to start off very simply. Before we get into the full game and how you guys feel about the game, I've been hearing a lot of questions online. So many questions, and people have been saying statements. And I want to bring back an old format where I'm going to give two people 10 minutes to tell me their sides of a statement that I'm going to put on. We're going to do 3 statements, then we'll go into the normal review show. So, guys, the first question while I babble on is going to be this one. Do you agree or do you disagree that Cardoso must go? So I need one person for agree, one person for disagree. I'm going to give you both 5 minutes to state your case. Then we'll ask the comments what they think. We're going to do 3 of them. So that's before we go into everything. So the first 30 minutes is going to be that. Feel free to request and jump in and tell me, do you agree or disagree that Cardoso must go? I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Please make it 2 minutes so that I can tell you, I can give you my thoughts about what you said, or maybe ask you a question or two. Shambe, welcome, my brother.
Hey, Habibi. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, Habibi. I have one question for you, Habibi. Do you agree or disagree with Cardoso must go?
Question is so lopsided, especially after what happened over the weekend. I think majority, if not maybe 95%, in their hearts are saying, Agahambe.
Marambuza wena, do you agree or disagree?
Okay, let me attempt to say disagree, just for the sake of, because everyone else is gonna agree, you know.
Okay.
So yes, I think Cardoso should still stay, Mr. Oti, as coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, Mr. Oti. I think what we're seeing happening in our Mamelodi Sundowns, Mr. Oti, isn't necessarily something that you can pinpoint into the direction of the coach alone. Yeah, well, I think, just reflecting back on where we are now as a Mamelodi Sundowns, does it not feel like deja vu? Does it not feel like the amount of panic that's in the air, the amount of frustration that's in the air, the amount of resentment towards this team, does it not feel like deja vu, Mr. Oti?
Yeah.
Have we not been in this exact moment before, Mr. Oti? Before Coach Cardoso was even a coach?
What do you say to people that will say, Cardoso was brought in to fix these problems? Fairly or unfairly, he was brought in to win the Champions League. He was brought in to win some cups. He was brought in to continue the league dominance, whether fair or unfair. And it's his second season. We'll say he's had 3/4 of a season.
Sure.
What do you say to those people that say, unfortunately, that's what we want?
Yeah, I mean, the double-edged sword of being a team that is so many miles ahead of everyone else is that, one, you are ahead of so everyone else, but you also don't get to level of competition that thrusts you to have to deliver at that capability 100% of the time. If we look at a Mamelodi Sundowns has to get out of second gear maybe 20-30% of the time when they're playing in the local league. We have teams, we've seen a Mamelodi Sundowns change 10 players and still win games.
Yeah.
And when does this team ever get an opportunity to constantly have to show up on an everyday basis where they're being tested, Mr. Oti? And we can't, it's difficult because now when they have to go play in Ahly, when they have to go play games where it is the occasion requires them to play at that level, it becomes tricky. People drown, Mr. Oti. Senior players disappear. Senior players feel like they're playing out of depth, Mr. Oti, So I will say that Cardoso might have been a bit naive in taking the job and maybe planning a strategy that would have helped him to overcome the things that he even saw as the coach of the opposing team. These are loopholes that he saw as well as a coach of Esperance, Mr. Oti, And you'd think that coming into coaching in Sundowns, he would have been able to identify what are the places that he needs to work on, what are the specific things that he needs to clean up. And I will say that Uguti hey man, I feel like all my points are going back to he must go.
Okay.
But I will say that it's not fair for him. It's not fair because it's not fair for us to come to try to measure him at the stick of Rulani, because we did score. We did see a higher goal scoring season last.
I want 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Would you say it's a culture thing, or is Sundowns just proving that they are a league team?
Yes, it is a culture thing, Mr. Oti. It is a culture thing. There's winning a league and winning a cup is not the same thing. Like you with the cup, it needs you to rise to the occasion. It needs you to be emotional. As you always say, Pirates is an emotional team, so they're the best possible team to play Ama Cups because they rise to the occasion. And never say die attitude. With Mamelodi Sundowns, they don't necessarily have that. They always have to be poised and calm. And in control of situations where you see them even trying to play out the back, even in situations where they are under high pressure, not reading the occasion, And I think there is a lack of reading the occasion when it comes to Mamelodi Sundowns, when it comes to cups, because it's a completely different world between playing e-league, Ama Cup games. There's a certain je ne sais what that's needed when you
je ne sais quoi. Okay. For time I'm gonna jump in. Kutsiso, I have Ushembe saying he disagrees. Can you argue for you agree that Cardoso must leave?
When we are angry, we used to sing. We say, "Atsamaye, aye, atsamaye, aye, atsamaye, kiri kwele tabatse monate, are Cardoso atsamaya." Let me start by greeting everyone who's watching this panel. As a heart fan of Mamelodi Sundowns, we are mourning and we are heartbroken.
Yeah.
With the decisions that the coach is making in the team. And to go to your question, when I see in rugby there are 3 cards. It's a yellow card, and a green card, and a red card. A green card, it means you are filthy. So
Also red card.
Cardoso must go.
Yeah,
I think the guy was given a chance to prove himself. I mean, the first time when we brought him to Mamelodi Sundowns, I think we bought the philosophy that he has, the vision that he has on changing the team. But when he arrives to Mamelodi Sundowns, I don't know where pressure was, but I was failing to understand the few things with Cardoso. When Cardoso arrived at Mamelodi Sundowns, he was playing with 2 strikers. He was playing with Reynas and he was playing with Salulile.
Okay.
And then the system was not working for him. And then he changed that. It's just that Mamelodi Sundowns, it's one of an autopilot team that even if I can go to Mamelodi Sundowns, as long as I can combine the players. Sometimes I always tell, I'm a coach, I have a D license. Sometimes I always tell my players that sometimes in certain games, you need a motivation. Sometimes you need the tactics. What he did with the first leg, he substituted the left back line. Another back line. What he was proving there, the very same thing he did, we did really second league. Instead of pressurize our parents because you are leading. If you are leading, you need to press so that parents you go and sit down. Then you expect how to win the game. Even from the first game of the league, he did the same thing. And now Rebuela to the CAF again, he did the same thing. With the, I mean, we bought the vision of him, but that vision that we bought, it is expired. And one thing with I hate Cardoso, as a coach, you need to have a backbone. Today, when the fans say no, we want Shalulile, you go, you bring Shalulile. When we say we want Mama, you go and bring Mama, which means now you are no longer coaching the team with the philosophy that we bought. You are coaching because of the fans wants who and who. But if the fans are the entire squad, the second mistake that he did, the time when he said no, he want to reduce the squad of Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah,
that's where the problem came. Because of he didn't see the issue of Ribeiro, he didn't see the issue of Motaung, he didn't see the issue of Vilakazi and stuff. And one thing, he doesn't believe in the young players. We have Mabena, we have Vilakazi, we have Mama. When he say I'm reducing the squad,
yeah,
the Miami can do better. But he let Bumayema to go. He let certain individuals or I'm not saying.
No. Just finish off that sentence. I just have to jump in for time's sake, just to ask you a question.
I'm not saying the players that they brought from American, and that was the vision of we bring the American players so that we can sell them. Now just look Alende Pamidicheko squad in Sarabu. And this thing, it's killing our football because we are no longer promoting Abum Kulis. They can do better.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you 2 questions on that point, very quickly for the last minute here. Number one. Mara they were given chances and it wasn't working out. Can we say that they're better? Number one. And then number 2, Is it really Cardoso? Phela le Rulani ka footballer hae entle o shapilwe same places. Bo coach Manqoba ba shapilwe for I think 3 seasons now. They haven't been able to get over this, and hape ki di mistake always ki di last minute mistake. Does it really come down to Cardoso, or is it maybe something Sundowns must look into deeper? Ka di players are thing.
You know, OT, let me tell you something. If you are driving a bus and then the bus involved in an accident, kalabaka la Livili, we are not going to blame Livili, who's driving the vehicle, who's inspecting the vehicle, who's in charge of driving that vehicle. So Cardoso is responsible because of some of the things we are not lashing him, but the mistake that he's bringing to the team are the one that lashing him. Because of if Okacheka, look at Game Yamagaze during the midweek, he played with the new team, resting the players. Then he brought the very same players. And then what are you sending message to those other players? Which means when you have certain individual. That's one thing that we thought with Rulani, that Rulani, you are forcing Abu Motaung to play, which means you have certain players that you are promoting.
For time though.
Okay, no, thanks.
For time though. Kuziso, thank you so much. I'm gonna give my thoughts while I get the next 2 ready, guys. We just for the for the first 30 minutes, we're gonna just have a quick debate session. I need 2 people for each of these things for the first 30 minutes. Then we'll go into the discussion at MTN8. The next one is this one. So Mapagania, I need somebody who's gonna agree that Wadu must still go, and somebody who's going to disagree and say that he must stay. Okay, so my thoughts about this is very simple. I've got 2 sides of this. Number one, there are mistakes that Cardoso has made. I think there are some tactical mistakes that he's made. We said it during the live that you can't finish a game with Mutiba and Shalulile, for example, and you're not crossing. Right? Rather, if Pirates is coming to you, Kabo Sibilibili, Kabo Spelebele, Kabo Kimang Bule, Kabo Apolis, and all of these players are all attacking, that means that you've got room to counter-attack, and maybe you could use Abo Reinas. There was a point where Sundowns started sitting back, and they sort of sat back instead of controlling the game like they normally do. They sort of chose to try and defend. And they say, hey, Sundowns, you'd imagine that it's a Greyhound or Intercape. But to be fair, because they can't do this thing. When we move on from that point, I want to add then to the other side of the argument where you go, but guys, this is not new. Rulani with his beautiful chameleon football, lost in the semis, lost in the finals, lost to TS Galaxy, lost to Pirates, Manqoba lost to Makesi, Rulani was beaten by Wheathead, he was beaten by ES Tunis, same as this guy was beaten by Pyramids. Maybe the issue is that as a whole, Mamelodi Sundowns needs to look at themselves in games of consequence and say, can we turn off Bulik Parona? That in the league you can score 1 goal and you can sit it out of the game and win by 1 goal. Whereas in these cup competitions, number one, you'll score first and it'll be great. But when the other team turns up the pressure, can you deal with that from a Sundowns perspective? Because that's where they usually lose it. And they usually lose it from mistakes from senior players as well. So these are the questions that I think we should be asking. And I think it goes a little bit deeper than Cardoso, just him. Okay, guys, I need 2 people for the Wadu conversation. Must Wadu still go even with what he's done right now? Do you agree or do you disagree? I need 2 people on either side. And then what we'll do is after that, we've got 1 more, then we'll get into our normal review of the game. So who wants to jump in and have a conversation? From the guys who are sitting here, Tyler, I know you were here for the Sundowns conversation. Please let me know where you guys are sitting, just in the comments. The guys who have requested, tell me, are you for or against? While we're doing that, please, tell me what you guys are thinking of Pirates, and tell me what you guys are thinking on. You see, you're all here for Sundowns. Guys, please leave if you're not here for Sundowns. I'll open up later on. I'll open up later on. So let me see. I saw two people flash in as I said it here. I'll bring you guys back. Don't worry. I'll bring you guys back. But please request for what we are speaking about right now. Okay, let me do this because Wesh, welcome to the show.
Hey, OT, hamba kahle.
Hayi mina ngimnandi Wesh na indaba. Nearly 5 minutes. Wadu must still go. Do you agree or disagree?
Hey, OT, I think this guy must still go. I think we hired the wrong person for the wrong position.
Yeah.
Because I am seeing a lot of North African kind of football mentality with him. And the unfortunate thing about that is that he did not go out there to look for players to suit whatever that he wants to play, right? And we are in a position now where if ufuna ukudlala uhlobo lwebhola where you're gonna have your centre backs, bashaye ibhola, kwa-right back, kuma-wings and ama-wing azoreceiva lelo bhola, then we attack. I don't think we have those players to do that. That is why Rulani was exposed. That is why Hoto is exposed. Because Hoto has been doing this going up and forth, but it was 50-50 and they were doing it pretty well. The system that was when Hoto wanna go, let me move inside, let you have that space. But right now, Hoto is literally doing 100% of that, and that is why he is exposed. That is why Rulani was again, every single he does not have crosses. He moves up, receives the ball, I'm across our Kamu, and our the team that is playing I'm across now, I don't know if we are. You know? And that is why I feel like he hasn't been able to gradually introduce players. I think he's too arrogant with his philosophy and style of play. And I think we're going to lose so much more points moving forward. And that will limit our chances of getting a league.
Wesh, do you think that he walked into this job with a lot more pressure than maybe he could handle? Because not only does he have to follow Jose, not only does he have VF4 of a 5-year plan allegedly, but also he's got a balance. Hey, I'm a player maningi man. Nabo mbule, nabo police, nabo tito.
The problem is that we had a coach who kind of did. Now he had a lot of time and he did not give us. He gave us 5 cups, you know, and we were waiting for him to give us at least a league or, you know, but with so much limited resources. And you have resources. A team that does not go out to do major signings went out and did major signings. And you have to use that. So if you are Orlando Pirates and you are a transition or a ball playing transitional team or footballing team, you build your team ngabadlali who can play ball. We all know team yakho. But if people that can play ball are not the pillar of your team that you build onto, I do not understand. That is why for me at this moment I do not understand what are we doing with that team and all those players. And the fact that there is no direction now, I don't know.
Wesh, is he expected to win the league? If let's say he wins the MTN 8, and maybe he wins the Nedbank, but then he finishes similarly in the league, is it a bad season? Does he redeem himself if he does what Jose did?
He might redeem himself, but people want results with the kind of players that he has and what he has told us, you know. That is another thing. You get a coach that is very subtle and humble, not saying much, and they kind of do try to give you something with limited resources. Then you find a coach who is almost a loudmouth to a certain extent, and who is giving you an idea that something is going to happen. And when something does not happen, supporters need results. You have resources. Give us results, or give us a direction.
Okay.
Yep.
No, Wesh. Thank you so much. Let me bring in Bongs. Bongs, I'm going to need you, for the sake of this conversation, to agree that... no. I need you to argue for Wadu staying. Welcome, champ.
Okay. You and me, I carry we are Chiefs fans, I carry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you expect your rival to go back to normal settings and become a better team again?
No.
So, what do if any problem Pirates are destabilize Pirates? Would you expect me to say Wadu must go? I wouldn't before Wadu must go. Wadu must stay. I love what's going on at Pirates. I love the mix-up on Pirates. The mix-up on Pirates. It's enjoyable because for us rebels, we love the drama that's happening. It will give us time to win without worrying about Pirates and their mess. As long as they are still losing, we are happy. So he can stay. He can even stay for 10 years. As long as he stays.
I wasn't expecting this. But okay, Bogs, let me ask you. As an objective person, somebody who's not a Pirates fan, do you think that Pirates fans are being a little bit unfair to Coach Wadu? In that, I mean, it's only been 4 games, maybe. He's now got to juggle all of these different things. He's gotten them into the final of the MTN 8. Do you think that the fans are being a little bit unfair right now?
I wouldn't say that they are unfair. They have a right to about complaining right now concerning the fact that they are bottom of the log. They're in the bottom half of the log. And Pirates is normally a team that's already born number 3, number 2. So Pirates fans can worry because why do someone who do relegation football? He's not someone who's always fighting for the league. So they need to worry as Pirates fans.
This is interesting. Bongs, do you think that the management of Pirates did the right thing bringing him in? Do you think that they should have gone with maybe a bigger name or maybe a name that's aligned with where they want to go?
Let me put it as a football fan, not as a Chiefs fan. They did a wrong thing to bring Wadu to Pirates. Pirates is not a team that has to be fighting relegation. It's a team that has to be fighting for the league or Champions League. So Wadu is not the type of person that can fight for the league or the Champions League. He's not the right person to be coaching Pirates.
Do you think it's tactical, or do you think that it's presence?
His tactics and the fact that he wants to start his own thing. He doesn't want to use what Jose Ribeiro was doing last season. He wants to start his own thing.
Mara, isn't that what he's supposed to do? Oh, but our kids are steering wheel fella. Kiska driver.
Driver, Maratoka, the idea it's productive rather than just coming there and letting the fans down. Because all the fans
I came to the team. They let me in.
They did their own thing.
Yeah.
They did their own thing. Whatever Pirates likes doing what their neighbors like doing, getting wrong things and not doing and not trying to win, just because they for the sake of saving money. Chiefs Pirates rather save a chelete too much rather than spend money to get good results.
Okay. Now, Boggs, for time over the champion, Boggs, actually, let me ask you one last question.
Yes, OT?
Do you think that it's an issue having such a big squad? Because people might think that it's a blessing. Mara, could that be something that, is a curse as well?
No, it's not a real curse. as long as you know how to manage these players, because you're going to need them Caf Champions League, Nedbank Cup, Kalim Black Label. So you've got to just manage them. Oh, Bolelo, these ones are going to be playing the league. I'm going to use some of you here in the league, but most of you are going to be playing Champions League. Oh, let's go to Champions League. So to se sebedisa o tla no add a man le man from the league o be le sa league o tsebe add a man ba tlo bapalang bo di Nedbank Cup so that they can help you out. It would be
Okay.
like saying rotation as such. Rotation. You'll be
Okay,
rotating
okay.
the squad.
For time, I'm going to jump in. Thank you so much, Bongs. Guys, last one. Then we're going to go into the normal analysis. Last one. I need two people who are going to argue this one. Because I've been hearing this a lot. I've been hearing this one a lot where people have said that, hey, Rulani, yay, beautiful football, yay, ing. So please let me know there in the comments where you stand, agree or disagree, and let me know to the people who are coming in. While we sort that out, I want to speak about Wadu a little bit. I think this is what I was saying about Wadu when he was signed. And what we were speaking about Jose Rivero, for the guys who were here last season, or to speak about Jose Rivero and him leaving, is that what is Pirates going to do as a club? Are they going to bring in a random coach again, a random plumber, quote unquote, who's basically going to walk the path that Jose Rivero walked? Or is it time for Pirates to put themselves under a little bit of pressure and bring in a coach who can, you know what I mean, who fits the bill of where you want to go? As sometimes, Bati, you have to now dress for where you want to go, not for where you from where, from where you came from. Sorry, not the way you came from. So now, when you look at these things, you go, if Pirates bringing in Wadu, fine. But now, not only do you bring in Wadu, a plumber, quote unquote, you bring in a whole bunch of players that are seen as great, and you pack that squad, which means already, for me, you need to have a personality. A coach who can walk into a dressing room and all of those players are going to listen to him automatically. Think Zidane walking into the Real Madrid locker room. All of those guys had to respect Zidane from get-go, right? The tough thing is always when you come into a club and you're looking at players who loved the previous coach. Somebody mentioned body language here. Isn't that one of the things we're seeing here, that maybe el padre, the father, our father, is now gone, and now we have to deal with you. Think about Mangoba, for example, when Rulani had done the work of getting certain players in line and under his side. When Mangoba took over, you could feel that things are not working the way that they should. Lastly, guys, a big squad is not a nice thing. A big squad is not a nice thing. Everybody here feels like, hey, depth. Guys, what Sundowns does with big squads is not something to be snuck at. To look at a great player and say, I'm benching you now. Whether I'm a fan Zaktanda, whether your previous CV says Baktanda, I am going to put you on the bench now. That is a very tough thing to do. To say to a squad of stars that, guys, some of you are going to have to sit down and I'm going to play the way I need to play with the guys that I need to play this football with. Abanye, you'll be players on the sidelines. It's a tough thing to do, especially when you're coaching a Pirates team that is one of the biggest teams in Africa, where the noise is the noise. I know Pirates fans are usually quiet, but when the noise starts, the noise starts. You can't escape it, and you have to have balls. You have to have balls in order to do that thing. But anyway, let's go to the last one before we get into the actual game. Okay, let's see who's here. Okay, let's see. CJ moderator. Where's Tyler? I saw Tyler. Yeah, there we go. So guys, remember, 5 minutes each. You're gonna tell me your side and you're gonna make a case for your side. Then we'll let the comments decide. Senior moderator of all lives, welcome.
Yes, but kunjani mna?
Mina ngimnandi man, naindaba. Here's the question. I've heard a lot of people saying Rulani would have won that game. Do you agree or disagree?
First of all, as a Sundown supporter, you know me very well. this is unfair to do that. You understand? To compare the current coach with the previous coach. You understand? We have to support wherever it goes to the team. It's either the team is winning or it's losing. To be a supporter, you are there to encourage the guys all the time. You understand? Then I think I've answered your question. I came up with only 3 issues.
Okay.
According to our big 3 teams. Yeah, I think you begin to see into Mganam. You see,
go ahead. Yeah.
To judge a coach with only 2.
You're begging a scene to man.
Ukujudge amatimu mfethu ngamagame amabini namathathu, it's not fair for me. Reason why, if did you ever play football, my man, kunalento abayibiza game fitness. You understand? I-game fitness and a training session are 2 things different. The pressure of the game is different to the pressure of financing a training session. You understand? Because Brian, for now, Sundowns, they are doing well currently because they've only went to rest only for 3 weeks. Then they came back after a Club World Cup. But we are not doing well. You understand? And we don't have a lot of new signings. A club in Mganam, you understand? So then ngiyazibuza ukuthi ucoach plans zakhe zithini. And the number players ne issues now or Motaung. Aizo issues are now. Even last season, if you remember, Motaung, we were having the same issue with him. Usakhumbula. We started to put him, we came here Chiefs because the Chiefs is pressing. And we foresaw a situation because the Chiefs is pressing. I think it was the first game of the league. You understand? So if I'm alone, and it was not on his plan. Now, Chiefs. The Chiefs guys, I think it's doing well.
Mara, you're going too far. I mean, I know a question. We're going to speak about the game, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
is that a question?
No, you're there because I just want us to unpack this thing. As a Sundowns fan, I think you are very well placed to tell us a little bit more about this thing. I'm hearing people saying that Rulani played more beautiful football, and it's not necessarily to compare, but it's more to say that if he was here, would he do the thing that people are saying he would do? As a Sundowns fan, do you think it would, or do you think there's a bigger problem at the club?
Okay, yeah, ithi ngiyibeke kanje ngibhuti wami ne. uRulani okokuqala ayikho i-effort ayifakileyo eklabhini. I-club ayenzelwe nguNansika ngoPitso noma Nqoba. Angokutshela iqiniso ke. You understand? Ayikho nje into ayenzileyo because I think uke wafumana i-chance yocoach Pirates. You understand? What he has done. Lo muntu nimncomayo at that time besiperforma mfethu. Now ubungayicoach Sundowns at that time. We were oiled machine. You understand? So now uyabona icoach yethu manje mfethu lesinayo. Lo muntu lonofuna ukukhumbula ukuthi usuke eNorth Africa, uyabona. Unazi mistake anazo, uyabona. And the influence yokompela ikhona phayana. Remember ukuthi okompela zicoach abazo assistant coach. Izaba khona influence. Just like ehlobo amke ngalo Rulani. uRulani there was an influence, you understand? So leyo into ngiyayizwa mina Brian, uyabona. So yabona kulento ibuzwa ngilobhuti ukuthi yini etshintshileyo ngicela uphendula lo bhuti ukuthi kuchintsheni. Yabona iSundowns ine tendency wrong. Okanye let me be honest to you, let me just be transparent. iSundowns guys ayifani nePirates neChiefs. Ayidlalelwa ngama player ayithandayo. Idlalelwa ngabantu abayela imali mostly. Why ndisitsho buka ama player ukuthi ahamba kanjani. Afuna uhamba inkani. Siba nalonkinga. Mna as a Sundowns supporter into engingayinaka leyo ukuthi yazi thina sidlalelwa ngabantu abangasithanda abazo investa kule club. Enye into manje iveze leyo.
Okay, last minute, yeah.
Yeah, so iSundowns kufuneka ifumana abantu abapassionate for udlalela iSundowns. Lapho ngiyafuna nje ifumana abantu abapassionate because abantu abayaphayana bayela ama-million basinike inkinga emva kokho. Inkosi.
Okay, no, thank you, Tyler. Agree or disagree?
OT, let's not just comment as people, man. Let's not throw comments. Just we comment, man. Rulani,
team was prepared by Pitso and Mangoba. Hi. But we don't, that's not true. You know, that's not true. Rulani would have done a great job when our OT, right? Against Pirates. Why? Because one of Rulani's strength when OT is that he's not a rigid coach tied to one system, right? He has implemented a distinct possession ball, high pressing style at Sundowns, you know, and that is always being, you know, compared to your Pep Guardiola type of football,
Okay.
whom he deeply admires. And players under Rulani, you know, he improved players basically. He improved players, Rulani Mokwena. And, you know, compare him with Cardoso. Everyone now in Africa, since last year, everyone knows Uti Sundowns is leaking on the left-hand side. Everyone knows that. But Rulani had a way of trying to, you know, address that. He even improved Abu Modiba where they were inverting. Football improved. Players improved under Rulani. You know, he's a man that works with data, and his technical team used advanced data and video analysis to study both their own team and opponents. He would have done an excellent job. This one comes and he says he doesn't want to work with a big squad. He thinks people are crazy when they having Sundowns is crazy when they have a big squad. Abu Rulani were crazy when they had a big squad. They had a big squad because of what you are complaining about today. You are complaining of fatigue. You are complaining of fatigue because you are playing the same players since last season Club World Cup. See, look at the football they play in the Club World Cup and look at the football they're now playing in South Africa. Totally different. And this guy is so inconsistent in terms of selection. It's like when someone made mention of the fact that, you know, when the fans are complaining about they want this player, he will put that player in. And that, what does that tell you about you as a coach? You know, you don't have a stand. You don't have a stand. You listen to other people. What about your philosophy? And Rolando would have implemented his philosophy and would have done pretty well against Pirates because he wouldn't have liked to lose to Pirates twice because he lost, you know, in the final. So he would have.
But it would have been his third time losing. So his track record is not good in these games.
But OT, trust me, Rulani, if you were listening to what I said earlier on, Guti, he played with different systems.
No, I understand. I get you, but
so we wouldn't have known that. What you are saying, we wouldn't have known, but I know for sure.
No, but I've seen him play. So that's why I'm asking that. To do what?
Yeah? To do what? To play better and win against Pirates. He would have won.
But players improved. Mudiba improved. Mudawi improved. Mokwena improved. And they still lost. And they still lost.
Malula improved.
And they still lost.
You know, he sets a high standard for his players.
And they still lost, though.
No, Oti. Rulani is the best by far I would have seen it. You know, this one thing I also wanted to mention is that South African teams can only perform and play well under the guidance of South African coaches because they understand the players. These coaches, look at this coach, right? He puts Matthews. Matthews is not giving you anything. Munda is not giving you anything since Club World Cup.
Maratila, aren't you being unfair? Because Aren't you being unfair because he broke the record
takes
for
out
the
of-
most goals, he broke the record for the most points, he got you to a Champions League final, something that Rulani, Mangoba, Coach Pitso had only done once. I mean, but the facts are the facts.
What happened to the? Okay, he brought us there. I'm not Sundowns fan. He brought Sundowns
No, sorry,
there.
yeah.
Okay, what happened after that? What happened in the final?
What
His
happened was that he went
acumen.
further
What
than
happened to
the.
his tactical. We question his tactical acumen as a coach.
But he
How
went
do you
further.
put-
He went further than the coach that you're advocating for. So you should be questioning that coach even more.
OT, you know what he did? The only difference that guy between him and this coaches are referring to, he understood how those guys were able to win matches. You even yourself, you even say, yeah, sometimes you must play dirty, man. You must play dirty. That's what he did. Right?
We
He
used to
played
complain
dirty.
about that.
He
We used to
played dirty
remember.
football, OT. He
Remember.
played dirty football. He scored one goal and he closed the shop and he played
That's
dirty.
and
then
that's
that
what you
brought him-
need.
Exactly, that's what you were saying. Our coaches, Bona, the way they have been grilled is that you must play football, right? You must play football up to the final whistle. He was. Look at the game they played with Pirates. And Pirates scored. He was closing the tab. He thought he was trying to implement that style in South Africa. That style in South Africa doesn't work. It doesn't work. It can only work in Africa. Batusi overloading the midfield. They just chip the ball behind Lunga, Sibelebele score. Because that football here doesn't apply. It's exactly the same why Pirates is struggling. with
Hang on,
when we play in Africa.
but Cardoso did that to him when he was ES Tunis coach. So it was the same problem. Same
did
left hand
what?
side, same balls over, same counter attack, same mistake that gets the goal, same everything. For me, I don't see, outside of maybe you guys are talking about style of play, I look at the results. The results are still the same. The left hand side is still an issue. It has been an issue since Kemang Abdel Monem, AB. It's been an issue since they tried to play Lebusa there. It's been an issue that side. We know that's a carryover. Sundowns had the issue that they take leads in finals and they can't hold their nerve. We saw it versus Wydad. We saw it versus ES Tunis. We saw it versus Pyramids. We saw it versus Pirates previously. We saw it versus Bakesi. So is it really a Cardoso thing here? Or do we just like Rulani?
The team has drastically their performance has dropped as a team since at least Club World Cup. They're trying to maintain it, and then you ask yourself, what happened? What happened from those performances? And now look what they're displaying here. What's going on, guys? And the inconsistency of changing players and putting Matthews who's not giving you anything, and Sales will give you 45 minutes, good football. But after that, you don't know what happened, but you will still keep him there. And this guy decided to take Abo
Tyler.
Cardoso must go.
No, Tyler, more time. Just because we need to review the game. Guys, we're going to go into our normal review panels now. It's going to be 5 people in the panel. Everybody's going to get 5 minutes. Please make your comments 2 to 3 minutes so I can ask you a question. Please respect the next person that's going to speak. Respect the time. Respect the people that are watching. I'm going to try to get 3 panels in tonight and we'll go from there. But I just wanted to start off with the debate. Before I go deep into the debates and everything, this is all I want to say. Sometimes public relations is a very important thing. The way people feel about you, the way people can look past some of your flaws because you make them feel good is something that is very underrated. And I say this because this is the same situation, I believe, with Rulani and with Jose, and part of the problem with their successors that have to follow. Rulani had the chameleon, they played great football, they put it on the floor, he was adaptable, he was doing this. But guys, he lost to Pirates, he lost to TS Galaxy, same way that Caruso maybe lost to Pirates right now. Similar circumstances. He lost to Wydad. We complained that no, he should have put in a central defensive midfielder and closed the door. Same mistake. A mistake happens, he loses. Right? Mangoba comes in, he's plagued by the same things, late round losses, all of those things, right? So I'm not saying that Caruso is better or Rulani is better. I'm saying that objectively they've done the same thing. And if you take off the objective of it as well, you'll realize that Rulani may have gone almost invincible, but that man Caruso broke the wins record of the league. They scored 100 goals last season. He got to a Champions League final. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you believe in a system or you don't believe in a system, when you put them next to each other as to what they did, they both ended up pretty much the same way, with this one maybe just a step further. And again, I say it's a PR thing because, for example, there's Pirates fans right now who are expecting Wadu to go win the league. But objectively, Coach Jose never won the league. In fact, Coach Jose, I don't think he finished the league season within 10 points of Sundowns, where it wasn't double digits. So again, the memory of that man lives so large that we forget the actual little things. And now when you grade the next guy, you are grading him on a myth and a legend. I speak about myths and legends. That one of the worst things you can do is fight a myth. One last example before I go into the actual panels. Look at the last 10 years, the history of the last 10 years. None of you would rate Ernst Middendorp. I'm sure there's no one here in the comments who would rate Ernst Middendorp. But objectively, he was the last one. He lost it on the final day. Since then, there hasn't been a coach that has come within, what, I think 9 points was the biggest, I think it was. The gap had been opening, 9, 16, 23, I think 12 now. But you wouldn't rate him. Whether you believe him or not, he did the thing. Whether you believe Caruso or not, he broke the records last season. In fact, I don't think he has a loss under his name in the league, actually. I think the losses came from Mangoba, I think it was. So that's why I'm saying, Guti, sometimes it's okay to say we love somebody and we enjoy their football and all of that, but to automatically make leaps and bounds when we've seen the people there. I watched Utso speaking about him, and Utso was saying that no, with time, he's still young, he's still whatever. Okay, why aren't you affording that to somebody else? But anyway. For time, let me let in the first panel. So guys, please remember, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. We're speaking about the game now. We're speaking about the game. Pirates versus... Let me see. Don't lie. Jose beat Caruso in the league. Okay, great. No, okay, my bad. He beat him. Still finished 12 points behind him. Jose still was 12 points behind Caruso. Whether we believe it or not, again, whether you want to believe it, whether you want to give it credit, Oxalai. So I retract. Let me go to Musa. Musa, welcome to the show. How are you?
Sure, Fede.
Hi, Mnandi Musa. Let me just get the timer up. Musa, I'm going to give you 5 minutes here. Please give me 2 minutes of what you think, 2-3 minutes of what you think, so I can ask you a question or two. How did you feel about game Pirates and Sundowns over the weekend?
It was disappointing. I am a huge Sundowns fan, and you know, Coach Cardoso, sometimes we ask Buzu, what is happening exactly? Is he the one that is taking decisions, or is it the sporting director? Because now we have a coach that performed well last season, came in, and then now Club World Cup. Okay, he had issues with other players. That's not relevant. And now you play against Pirates, right? Last season, he said he only took 20 minutes just to score for Sundowns to score 4 goals against Pirates. A week later, he loses against Pirates, and he's complaining about the mind and whatnot and whatnot. So coming to this MTN 8, you look at Sundowns, they're telling you that there's a mandate. Whenever a coach comes in, they give that coach a mandate to say, you want to win the MTN 8, you want to win the Nedbank Cup, you must win this, you must win this. Because they know the league, they can win the league. But now, Rulani lost those games and he was shown the door. Okay, fine. Now here's Cardoso, you have the players. You know how Pirates plays. You know that at the back, especially the left back, you are struggling. And then you do have, you have Mdunyelwa, you have Divine Lunga, you have a Morena. He used to give Morena and Motaung, right? Because of the pace of the opponent. Now you have Divine Lunga. Divine Lunga now has to go and then so I don't really understand when Zagalan goes Sundowns problem. This coach sometimes
So would you say who coach you, or would you say that it's Mamelodi Sundowns' inability, man, who dealing a pressure a cup? Because I mean they were leading that game. They were leading. And it's not the first time Sibabona balita. It's not the first time Sibabona, with an advantage and then Bashawanga my last minute or Bayanza my mistake. How much does that play into this? That this is also maybe something as Sundowns the Cups.
Fethu, I think i-Sundowns indaba yama-cup, I think i-problem iba sekuthenini they know how to win the league, so they are not that serious when it comes to ama-cup. Ukad also has that belief, you score one, we protect it, second leg we try and score, then we protect it, and then from Lapo we see what happens. But yaba costa big time, and it puts a lot of pressure even naguma players, bomkhulise and stuff. When they get game time, they have this pressure ukuthi I must prove to the coach ukuthi I'm better than the other person. And then obviously game yabo, it doesn't be right. And then now they take them off. They have to bring in abo Mokwena. They have to bring in abo Alende, because you could see nale game lesbuya give. After Alende angena, things changed. Then they were able to score. They were so replacement in a corner iba a problem, because Uribera Geko, who was the main guy, who was Uti adlalisa ama player. Now Uribera Geko, now we are struggling because even though Temba's one in Ageko. So now we are struggling with, okay, which player can I use? Because man, helicopter football was Sundowns, I seven Zumangobu Zamile, it didn't work. So I think Naleka majority mandate. I think the Sundowns management mele libuye futhi libhekisise lapho, because what will happen should Sundowns ugcina ifana lama team ase North Africa, if you don't win this ukhomba umnyango. Another coach comes in, cosha ama play, uthenga amanye akawini lona bayamcosha. Kuze linye coach futhi ucosha ama player, so uyabona ukuthi at the end of the day
For time. Thank you so much, Musa. Chero, my friend, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Oti?
I'm good, Chero. Chero, tell me about this game, man.
You remember that municipality manager from Free State? when he was asked the question, and he said, first you must understand, Free State is a special municipality. You remember that clip? So it's the same with Sundowns. Sundowns is a unique team or a special team because for me, now what I've observed as a fan, football style carries more weight than Ama wins.
Okay.
Yes, win is important, but the style of play, hence we are called the Shushan and Piano team. So Ukato's ever since Africa has been playing this ugly football but winning. And I still quite happy with that. But the fact that we are winner, we kept quiet. Now that he's losing with the style, in King says
okay.
His main problem is football. I understand we World Cup or in off season. But even though our players are off pace, but his style of play still remains. Even if you're off pace, at least you must identify Labant, they are trying to do this and this and this. Even though Abana pace or they are not fit, but they are trying to do.
Okay.
If Sundowns always loses MTN 8, they hardly win MTN 8. So that is not a problem, which we lost. The problem is the way we are playing. MTN 8, when last did we win it? The problem is the way we are playing. And this thing has been building up throughout the last season. It's been building up. Man, it's only chance of what call me bomb. And he's now since about Rulani, now they have to continue with the trend.
Okay.
They have to continue the trend. They have to fire this guy now because he's not producing. Agawinang careful, and now Agawinang at this time. Now going into the game on our old team. If you look at
before you go into the game, can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
But has he underperformed? Or
like I said,
has he performed at the level of where Sundowns was, and last season he took it a little bit further?
No, I'm going back to my initial point when I was Sundowns, his style of play carries more weight than wins.
Exactly, that's why
hence we are called issue shine. So our results are last year be mahle. So go final 100%. But the style of play, we were not happy with the style of play. We kept quiet because the results were coming.
But I'm asking you, the question I'm asking you is, even at this point right now, have the results changed?
Not the results, the style of play.
No.
We don't care about the MTNH because we hardly win it anyway.
So then is
it's
it just
the way
then
he's playing?
Then that's all you have to say. Has he lost games in the league? No. Has he scored goals? No. So Nimkoshela, just a subjective thing. Okay.
That's why I'm saying it carries more weight. If you go to during just go to the Sundowns page while they are playing during the game and see my comments about. Or maybe you can go back in there if you find time. I want they're complaining about the style of play. Yes, it's the first 20 minutes, but the main question is, what is this?
Okay.
What are we trying to do? Majority of those Sundowns fans are complaining about the same thing I'm telling you. It's not about the win. It's not about what is a Pirates semi-final. It's the way ANC corner. Hence I said Sundowns is a unique case. Okay, going into the game now, as Katos for me, if I was Katos, I don't have a pace yamtao or overlap yamtao, aggression yamtao. On the other side, Ulunga has to deal with this guy, Usbeleben. Our players in the middle are far apart. Our Aslali together. Islander is there. Mokwena is there, so there's no combination here. So you are forced to go to who's this guy? This guy number 9, Usales all the time is to play my long balls go Renas. If you're gonna play with long balls, then have a Bantabazo Kichima behind behind the defense. As long as we are not playing close together. We are not. If we are playing environment defender, then have face. Urenas agana pace. At least Fagushaluli Fagurenas. Then you play udlali helicopter football. But lapana best ngazi ukuthi senzani. You understand? That is my problem. As now identity manje ukuthi this is what we are trying to do. Yes, it can change depending on ukuthi udlala nobani. Medlala ne-Chiefs uzodlala in another way. But now in that case, the Pirates both games akekho umuntu kade ngasho ukuthi ubezama ukwenzani. Even you yourself, maybe you can tell me as a coach what he was trying to do.
Don't think I'm defending Cardoso. I'm not defending his play. I dislike his play. If you watch my reviews, I've told you that he's confused. My only sticking point is that we're making such a big deal of it. Mara, he did exactly what the people we loved did. So Ngaleso's style of play is great and all of that, but the question that I was asking was, to what end? What is it going to help to play beautiful football and then lose the exact same way? Yes, Fanela like him, to be honest with you. Like
I understand that, but the biggest danger for
very quickly,
he has lost the change room. If you look at the body language, they are not fighting for him. That's one thing Rulani had. He had the team. You could see these guys are willing to go an extra mile for this coach.
For time, let me jump in.
All right.
Jero, sorry, for time. I know we went back and forth. I gave you an extra time here. Let me go to Lebza. Sorry about that, guys. Lebza?
Mr. Oti, how's it?
I'm good, thanks, and you? It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. Been having some family to take care of. I want to start by defining what insanity means. Insanity means doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome, but you're repeating the same thing. One of the reasons why we changed coaches is because we saw that things were not working. One of the reasons why we took out Rulani, it's because we saw that by the time it got to the end, we were so frustrated. I used to attend every game. I would leave at halftime. I would be so pissed because I could see that there was nothing happening. We were just passing the ball. A goal was not forthcoming at all. And all of a sudden, we are forgetting that we were in that situation. Right now, we have a coach who, at times, he frustrates us, yes, but it's all because different opponents require different tactics all the time. You can't go to CAF and be like, we are Mamelodi Sundowns, we're going to impose ourselves. We've done that. We've gotten embarrassed by the likes of that team from Angola, Pedro. We've scored against ourselves. We've done weird things where we got knocked out every time. And we keep on talking about the style of football. We got frustrated with that style of football in front of our opponents in CAF. So what we need right now is results. The style can come later. The most important thing right now is to get the results. It hurts that we lost in MTN 8, let alone the fact that we lost to Pirates, but we always scored first in both legs. Our players just couldn't close the game. And we are doing all of this after losing a guy who could run from our own center and go score to the other side. We are doing this after losing our regular right back. We are doing this with Tembazwane, who's injured. We are doing this with Tapelo Morena, who got a knock. And the coach is managing the situation. We are doing this with players who are writing a thesis on social medias. And he has to navigate those waters. And people are forgetting that at one point, the same fatigue that I heard someone saying Rulani never complained about fatigue. Rulani was one person who was complaining the most about fatigue. And he was writing love letters to Motaung while they were injured on the pitch because he didn't give other players enough time to be match fit and match ready. But all of a sudden, we are forgetting all of that. And we are coming here and speaking about how Rulani would have won this, all of this, how bad Cardoso is. He has to steady the ship in this situation where you lose a player of the season who could pull a rabbit out of a hat in a tight game like that one. And not only that, you score first, but towards the end of the game, the players that are entrusted in the team cannot close the game. And we come and point fingers to the coach and be like, this coach is bad. But Reyners hit a post in the same game. The ball didn't go in. Could have been 2-1, and we win the game.
No, I wanted to ask you for the last minute here, Lebza, for time. Okay, so then what do you say to the people that say, boo-hoo, this is the job now?
I was going to come to that point.
Yeah.
We need to agree that Pirates is also putting in the work. They've put in the work to try and find ways to win against us as well. And in as much as it's painful to lose to Pirates so many times, we just have to clap hands for them and be like, next time we'll get you, and get on with life. We are not entitled to wins. We lose, we win, we draw. That's part of the game.
But do you think the club put a flag in the sand when they took out Rulani? And remember when the statement was released, one of my questions was, are you going to have the ability to hold every single coach to that standard? So if the standard is losing a Champions League, and Cardoso has lost the Champions League, now it comes into the season, maybe Bamufile lifeline, I don't know, to go against whatever happened. Shouldn't he be held to a higher standard now, as what Sundowns had set out?
If that's for me, if that's the direction that the club has taken, then so be it. Because I don't know the reasons, the main reasons why they get rid of coaches. We can speculate. I mean, on a lady, we don't know what they
very quickly.
We don't know what their objectives are for each individual coach. But if that is the direction that the club wants to take, I support the club. I'm fully behind the club. Whatever decision they take there, I'll fully support it. But if they're sticking with Coach Cardoso, I'm 100% behind Coach Cardoso. And that's it.
For time, I want to jump in. For the Lebs, I don't have time anymore. Sorry.
But Mr. Oti, I didn't even get time in the first one, but it's fine.
Yeah,
it's
no, Mara guys. Let me go to Ulitama. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Oti.
Yes, Ulitama, go ahead. What did you think of this game?
I think it was a poor game of football from both sides. I don't think it was a nice game to watch.
Yeah.
I think generally the quality in South African football this season has just dropped. Hopefully it picks up, but yeah. Oti, Sundowns lost predominantly because of the players, not because of the coach. You could put Jose Mourinho there, you could put Pep Guardiola there, and they still lose. They've shown us to be chokers. They've shown us to be players who are losers, not just in Sundowns colours, but also in Bafana colours. They've showed us that they can't do it. They don't have what it takes. They don't have the big game temperament. And of course, the coach plays a role in that, but predominantly it's been the players. You can look at it, Coach Rulani, the best system in possibly African football I've watched in the last, you could say even 10 years. There's no system that has been so nice to watch and so good to watch. That is why so many teams want him out everywhere in Africa. They're still saying, listen, we want what you created. So when you look at it, then you bring in Coach Mangoba. Coach Mangoba gets you to a final and you still lose it. Can't be the coach's fault. And you go to Coach Miguel. People say we must bring in defensive players, and try and get results. He does that, and you still fail. I mean, we conceded at Orlando with 5 defenders. That says to you that this team are losers. They don't have what it takes to win in a cup game, and that's what they are. And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but that's what they are right now. So you need to go out there as the Sundowns leadership and go get a winner, somebody who's gone and won the Champions League, somebody who's done it. Because you've brought us a guy who's failed. You want to go and win Cardoso was here to win the Champions League, nothing more. He's not here to win MTN 8. He's not here to improve us. This thing, or even you, I'm listening to you. That's why I'm saying that you are being disingenuous, because when Coach Rulani improved Sundowns to a point, he took Sundowns from a team that couldn't get to a semi-final. The last semi-final we got to was in 2018. He got us to 2 semi-finals in the Champions League. So Cardoso getting to a final isn't that impressive. Wait, you can't get to 2 finals and say 2 semi-finals and say that is it that impressive?
That's not that impressive. I think I'm not talking about impressive. I'm talking about okay.
It's okay. I'll give you a chance.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then you come to the league. People are like, did he really improve? What did he improve? He got a squad that basically played the season unbeaten. They lost 1 game, and that's the last game of the season. Once again, showing the players don't have the mentality to go and win when it counts. They're showing that these guys are losers. They couldn't go out and close the season and be invincible. It show, even if you listen to the chairman's interview after the Cape Town City game, he spoke about it would have been so beautiful for us to go unbeaten. That's player mentality. The players are losers. They don't have what it takes. You know? So Cardoso, people telling us, oh, he scored 100 goals, blah, 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 blah. That's not impressive, OT. It's really not impressive. Whether you win the league with 100 goals or 70 goals, you still win the league, OT. So when you ask yourself is that, what do we need as Sundowns? We need a winner. We need a coach who's done it, who's gone and won the Champions League. And that's what we need. We don't need a loser. You can't bring us a loser. The guy who lost the Champions League final, and we say, no, this is the guy who's going to win us. That's stupidity. It's like, hey, OT, yeah. It's like failing your driver's test a certain way and then going and doing it in a different car without practicing and thinking you're going to win it or you're going to pass it, It's just a poor coach with a poor record who should have never been the Sundowns coach. We need to go out there and get somebody who has won this thing. I mean, the guy got there and found the team playing fluid football. Today, we can't play from the back. We can't stitch 5 passes together at the back. We're just knocking it about and kind of progressing to the midfield. We have a coach who makes changes at halftime.
Yeah.
If you make a change at halftime, it says to me that I didn't prepare this right. I didn't look at the team right. I couldn't get it right. That's why you end up bringing in Abo Matthews in Champions League finals and Abo Neo Mahema and starting Mutiba. You're confused. People telling me that, no, we would have won if Ribeiro was there. We wouldn't have won. The guy missed the penalty in Bombela. He missed the penalty in Bombela. He had everything. He missed it. I mean, our players are just losers and they have to accept that. Wednesday, you're going to see Wednesday. We're going to smash Chiefs for 4 or 5. Watch tomorrow. Because that's what they're good at. That's the league. That's what they excel at. And Pirates are probably going to draw or lose.
For time, I'm gonna just have to jump in for time. Let me bring in Twana. Twana, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm fine. You? Can you
I'm
hear
good,
me?
thanks, my brother. I'm good. I can hear you. Tell me about this game.
Yeah. Yes. What I'm thinking about this game, I think the most important thing is that for us playing a 4-4-3 formation is the thing that is failing us, because if you look very well, when a team prepares to play against Mamelodi Sundowns, they are going to have their fullbacks well prepared, that they are going to run, and they must prepare themselves well so that they can defend our wingers. You understand? So I think what our coach should implement is maybe try playing a 4-4-2 formation. Because if you could look from the last match that we played against Orlando Pirates, Reynas was being bullied by that guy who is it Mbogazi. He was being bullied by Mbogazi. And
Yeah.
that tells us Ugutin we should have bring in maybe Ulebo Motiba and play a 4-4-2 system. Playing a 4-4-2 system will have what it will have bring us to dominate the game. If we dominate the game, it reduces the confidence from the Orlando Pirates players. And if the confidence is reduced, what's going to happen when we come back for second half? We are going to be looking forward to play more through balls, and Ulebo Motiba is a tall guy. He will give Abu Mbogazi hard time because you can see Mbogazi is a tough defender. I think that sometimes playing for Mamelodi Sundowns to play a 4-3-3, it's what fail us, because even if you look from the last game that we played, we were failing to create chances. I think we got the one goal by luck. That's what I see from my own view. 4-4-3 is failing us. Yes.
So what do you say to the people that say, you know, it doesn't matter the system, because for everything we're saying, Coach Cardoso had them 2-1 down. The Pirates, Coach Rulani had Wheated 2-1 down. They were leading Pyramids, I think. There's so much where Sundowns for 80 minutes, it doesn't matter whatever game they're playing, they still lead, but they just can't finish it off. Is that a tactical? Does that come down to 4-4-2s and 4-3-3s, or is it maybe something different?
I think for me, the reason I'm calling for a 4-4-2 formation, it is because when you are playing a 4-3-3, you have 3 midfielders. And when they minus 1 midfielders, there will be 2 midfielders left, which means the opposition will get more time to do what? To play long balls. And if they play long balls, what's happened to our defense? They get stretched apart, and then they score goals. And then they do this thing like this. Maybe in a game, they are going to maybe play 20 long balls. And in those 20 long balls, obvious, we are going to make a mistake and we are going to concede. Unless if we are playing a 4-4-2. If we are playing a 4-4-2, one midfielder gets minus, and the other attacking midfielders get and come to cover in for the CMF that has been minus. And then the opponent's midfielders, they don't get time to think about releasing a long ball. You see? So I think it's the 4-4-3 system failing us. It doesn't matter if we play good football or what. I think it's the 4-3 formation failing us. Because even if you look from when we play Pyramids, I think for me, on my side, I thought the coach will play a 4-4-2 system, because those defenders, they were too tall for Reynas alone. Understand? Reynas was bullied by those defenders, and for me, I think we should have played a 4-4-2. And it wasn't necessary for us to start Ribeiro. We could have used Ribeiro as a super sub. You understand?
Or Reynas. Or Reynas.
We could have used Ribeiro as a super sub, because what our opposition would expect us to play, they will expect us to play a 4-3. And when we come in with a 4-4-2, it will cause them to panic, you understand? Because this is not what they would have prepared for, you understand? And when we play 4-4-2, we dominate the ball position, their confidence gets reduced. In the second half, then we introduced Abu Ribeiro. Those guys have billion, Abu Otta Sales, those guys have billion, understand? They can play all those through balls, and we can win the match easily. Understand?
Okay. No, Ntwana, thank you so much for joining me. Guys, we're going to go to the second panel now. I've never seen Litabo that angry. Sorry. We're going to go to the second panel. This is all I wanted to say, guys. What I mean, at this point in my life, I've gone away from some of the things that we love and some of the things we give excuses for. So in the same way you can say Rulani's made it to 2 semi-finals, I could then say Cardoso's made it to 3 finals in a row. If you are upgrading a coach, you go get that guy. You know, in the same way that you say that Cardoso's building on a team that's built up, we forget that Rulani got 7 months 7 months to try out the chameleon after Mangoba was retired, Mangoba was demoted, and he became head coach before the season that he had that was invincible. So that's why I'm saying that, like, I think sometimes we get away with so many other things because of the people that we like. And when I'm speaking about Abokadoso, Nabowadu, guys, my reviews, I'm somebody who has reviews on YouTube. Technically, both those coaches messed up in those games, but you have to be fair. Like, you have to be fair and say that, okay, if Ukadoso was given a chance, he got to a Champions League final, whether we like it or not. That was the first final since Pitso. Whether you believe there's quality players or not, that guy got to a final. You get what I mean? So you can't now go and say, hey, this guy, that doesn't matter, that one matters. Rather than look at both of them and say, this is what happened. And if I'm Mamelodi Sundowns, personally, I think Sundowns might be getting to a place where they're going, we don't care with this Figanjani. Dala siltunga for 8 seasons since Pitso I win. We don't care because we watch beautiful football. Guys, not only does a coach Rulani, and again, this is not for comparison, it's for the sake of having a full conversation. Not only does Coach Rulani have those 2 years, don't forget, he's been there ever since. He's been at Sundowns since he's been with Mangoba, who had been part of Pitso's tree ever since. They are veterans at Sundowns. And even in that, you take away all of that history and you go, no, these are the only few years we're going to focus on. Because Nani, in the same way that you're saying to Cardoso, you failed, you should go. Surely you look at the guys who've been there for the 8 years that Sundowns hadn't made a final, and you go, Maranani guys, 8 years yonke. Whether it was head coach, whether it was this, whether it was that, whether it was together, whether it was... You guys had 8 seasons to sit there and figure things out. And Rulani was the same coach who was sitting there going, guys, please give me 3-4 years to win this thing on top of. And I'm not saying that he would have or he wouldn't have won it, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to hold him to that standard, why aren't you holding the other guys to their standard? Why aren't you guys being fair then? Now Unabi simtande. The reality is, going from number 9 to number 1 is a huge jump. It will be unfair. Now Uwadu, as somebody who hasn't coached the championship team and all of that stuff, it's inevitable that he's going to get there and he's going to start slow. I don't know where he's going to go, but anybody who thought that he was going to hit the ground running after Abo Prasten passed on, after the things have changed, after Coach Ahambile, after coach that the players really love, Ahambile, you think that he's going to step in and have fun? I said this about Mangoba when Rulani was fired, that Mangoba was walking into a minefield because all of those players don't rate him. So first things first, he has to do all of that first before doing. Those are not easy things. And anyway, as my last point, guys, this is the pattern at Sundowns. Midweek, last week, I said on a bunch of podcasts, guys, Sundowns is probably going to lose that game, and they're going to lose it Kari last minute. And they're going to lose it the same way that they've lost to Pyramids, the same way that they lost to Chiefs, the same way that they lost to Pirates before, the times before, the same way they lost to Makesi, the same way they lost to Wheathead, the same way they lost to Ahly, the same way. So now, when you look at all of that, that is now a pattern that you have to look at the pattern now and say, hey, Spachinchiles, Dimotiles, co-coach, 3 wise men, Pitso, Rulani, Zbanbat, they're all losing the same way. Surely now you look at the style of play and all of that stuff, but then you take the higher ground and say, guys, this is a pattern now. Maybe it's bigger than. But anyway, let me let in the next panel. Hey guys, can we please do 5 minutes? I'm going to carry on, guys. I'll go over tonight. I'm going to have at least one more panel after this. But let me go to Andile. Andile, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, my brother. Tell me what you thought about the game and what we are all discussing here.
Yeah, very interesting perspectives. I can't remember. I think it's Ubalo Putlona Furious programmer. Is it the same guy? I think I like what he said in terms of I think context is important because we have to look at the fact that Cardoso is working with a team that's pretty much in transition. I'm sure there's a lot of sentiments around the team with the stuff that's happening with certain key players who aren't currently playing for Sundowns at the moment, but are on Sundown's books and are not injured. And then obviously, you're dealing with the fact that like you're losing key players like Abo Zwane, who have been like the pivot of that team for the past couple of seasons, and then they're very difficult players to replace. And that then obviously speaks to a larger conversation around the kind of quality that we're able to produce to replace those type of players, right? Because we had a player like Ribeiro, and we're replacing it with another Brazilian guy now, which is Usales. So, which means we don't have a local player who we feel confident enough that can take up that role at a team like Sundowns. Which for me is concerning, but that's a topic for another day. Just in terms of the game itself, lo ate ngasebediniwe. Interesting takes. But I think from a quality standpoint, I also felt the game was a little bit, it lacked a bit of structure and discipline, a lot of ball turnovers. And I also have the PSL to blame for this. I've been saying this for the longest time. The pitches that these guys get to play on sometimes are just not up to standard. It's such a disservice to what we're trying to achieve as a league. If you make a comparison with the North African pitches, even some of the pitches you see in these the Chan, like very solid quality pitches they're playing on. If we're trying to display a quality brand of and market a quality brand of football, we need to do better as a league in terms of the standard of the pitches that the guys get to play on a consistent basis. Because now we have to share Loftus, and Loftus sometimes they played rugby the day before, and I think it was a game recently that I watched where the guys were slipping
The pitches are
because
trash.
yeah, because they played rugby the day before, and I know because I played rugby. So you got the pitches, the grass set for rugby is it's a little bit longer, a little bit thicker, right? So now what they're doing is instead of cutting the grass for football, they just put more water on the pitch, so the pitch became too slippery, and players now couldn't balance on couldn't balance and were slipping the half of the time. So things like that happen when we sometimes we blame the players, but the players themselves are being put in situations where they can't even give us their best sometimes. And so yeah, so for me, the standard I was also not happy about the standard, but I still believe those two teams are our two best teams in the country. They're playing good football. And the thing is, as much as we can hate on Sundowns, guys, what Sundowns have actually done is that they've required other teams to raise their level. Because you look at the purchases that Pirates made this past season, right? They bought players, strategic players, to come and improve their team because they knew that in order for them to compete with Sundowns, they're gonna have to get a little bit better. And I think that Sundowns have asked that out of them. So we have to commend Sundowns for what they've managed to achieve for us as for South African football. Just in terms of them as a team, I think another aspect that's not looked at in terms of their performances in finals, and this is not an excuse because you can still perform without this element. I think what Pirates have as an advantage over a team like Sundowns is the support of the fans. Like they have so many supporters and such passionate supporters that for them finals are like exciting. They are theatric, massive occasions for them. And I think having that that's why they're able to come back in the second half of both legs, because you've got that supporting and that backing of the fans, which Sundowns obviously doesn't have in comparison. So I think a lot of the times they struggle from that. And I think another element is that the coach's personality
Very
is an
quickly.
important aspect. Yeah, last point.
the coach's personality is a massive another thing. Depending on how the personality of the coach is, will determine how teams tend to perform in finals.
Okay.
If the personality of the coach is, if the coach has a strong personality, the team will kind of embody that type of personality as well. If the coach has a personality where he's also unsure of how well his team might do or might not do, then the team will embody that. Under Pitso is very, very strong character.
Time.
So yeah, I'm done.
Time. But guys, the time was there. Guys, let me go to ABM. Welcome.
Asbuil, we are back.
Sure. You're back.
we are back.
Tell me, what did you think of the game, my brother? Oh, even though what we're talking about.
Just because we've won doesn't mean everything is fine.
Yeah.
So, Jongawa, I'm seeing they are being excited about Swinile. Everything is up to par. We are starting to cook. Mina, I'm still seeing the cracks. Usibelebele is pretty much Uwawadu's lucky charm. If it wasn't for him, we'll be talking a whole nother story. If we have to be honest. So coming to the game, both.
Wait! Before you go too far, can I ask? Wasn't that the situation with Ribeiro at times, where Nkota maybe pitched in, when Mbata popped up somewhere, where Relay the ball bobbled, he hits it, he scores? Wasn't it the case sometimes with Ribeiro as well that there was a hero?
I mean, Ribeiro was a hero, but then he was a hero in a system that kind of worked in that way. Because we're still carrying on that momentum, you understand? So it was more like a plug and play. Because I did tell you in the semi-final, Luguti, Pirates fundamentally, it's a relationism team. So in relationism teams, if there's no connection between the players, if there's no chemistry, or if the chemistry is not linking up, things don't go well. People become frustrated. Everyone wants to play the hero. But then the moment where every single player is in sync, it becomes one holistic system. You understand? So coming to this game, I still think Uguti, this team is not clicking as much, where there's not much of a connection between the teams, between the players. So the way that we played, it was very, very much individualistic instead of being like very cohesive. And you can also say that with the Sundowns to a certain extent, where Sundowns was not necessarily like in the most efficient form, so to speak. So yeah, man, I mean, the semi-final match, it was just like very, very scruffy from both teams, so you can't necessarily put this match to say, okay, this is the top two teams that are actually like displaying where both of them are ready. You understand? Still very, very scruffy, still very, very incomplete, a lot of cracks, within the teams. Because if you have to be honest, Stellenbosch is a dark horse, and they're generally cruising without being seen. You understand? So Stellenbosch, where they are right now, they are a lot closer to Pirates and Sundowns as compared to last season, if I might say.
Okay. So, ABM, I just sort of, for the last minute here, very quickly, how much of this is mental? Even from both sides. Mental in the case of Sundowns winning a cup, mental in the case of Pirates winning a league. How much of it is just mentality or maybe the culture of the clubs?
It's 80-20. It's 80% mental, 20% physical and tactical. Because here's an analogy that I want you to keep in mind in that we all say that the league is a marathon, right? And that with the league being the marathon, Mamelodi Sundowns, you could say, is like more Farah. Where in Sundowns, their system is more like a long distance runner. So long distance runners have an advantage in that they can go for a longer time and they can have as much endurance as possible for that specific like event race, where the endurance, quote unquote, is them collecting points after points after points. Whereas Pirates, in terms of cup games, you could say that the cup games are like 400-meter events, where you're in a Pirates systematically, it's like Wayne van der Kerk, whereby out of the box, they've got the speed. They've got the speed to get to the finals, and they've got the speed to go over the finishing line.
Okay.
But then, in as much as Pirates has speed, they do not have endurance. That's why in the league they don't last as long. Whereas in Sundowns, they don't have the speed, but then they've got the endurance. Hence why they win the league.
For time, I'm gonna have to jump in there on that point. Let me go to Mtakawa.
Costa waruna. Hey, akazi bamnandi kanje ingoma evike edlulile. Hey, isaqoqoze badlebe ndamake le ngoma ayimnandi. Isadlala badlebe namhlanje. Costa waruna. Ngizwe bathi bacabanga ukuthi babise kuma-tax. Kunzima ezweni. Uyabona ihleko obuyindoda mayiwile. Sashaya wasahlekwa ngusana. Bacabanga ukuthi bathatha ukhosi babise kuma-tax nabo. Hey, Mr. Oxy. Hey, yazi mina ngabona kudawona amaqanda asebenza. Ngabona kudawona amaqanda asebenza. Khapha omunye umfo wakithi la ashiyo unkosikazi umfazi. Bathi bayasifika lapha aqaka lo baba safika kwewaqala mbeka amaqanda la ekhanda nebizo amthela sehla aqala ukuthi agezi inyama mfoso oqala. Umfazi nje sikhuluma kumadla umakoti khona cha ubuyile nje. Ayisemshiya ngabona lapho kwiqanda.
Akufuna ukukhuluma.
Ngabona la futhi hayi. Ashaya khona. Uyaphila kodwa mntaka baba.
Hey, mina ngiright. Thina besisibrayela nje sizingena indaba zenu. Ngibona ama-reaction nje.
Washaya umoya kamnandi and into enhle ukuthi kuyothula ubatshela ifana zidlala nge-13 after game bafana ngeke kube neyinkulumo. PSL ukushamena ekathukwe abambonge namaye ukuthi ibhola ababenefitile abakabonge phela uSherman angabonga phela makubheda njalo ukuthi uSherman ayasibonga zonke indawo uSherman bantu benkosi siyodlala after game bafana njengoba khona ukuthula ezweni. Njengoba iPSL ihlala ingazi ukuthi ubani odlala ifinal mayiseta ama-game. Oh Jehova simakade. Ngapha umoya ezweni. Costa waruna. Hey, umnandi ezweni. Makayi. Bonke mntaka.
Oh, velile before hamba. Kawubuza nje somebody ewebhola, like somebody who consumes football. Yazi, is it sometimes good as fans man nathi asi understand lento ukuthi man lezinto esifuna ukuziyenza, like winning a Champions League is hard, winning a league is hard, winning an MTN 8 is hard, konke it's hard, mara sibona ngathi easy ngapha, or this one is meant to ukuthi ingene, or lena supposed to, do we take those things into consideration as fans?
No, as we start into consideration, angithi at sometimes sibheka ibhola and we don't know the preparation that happened behind. We all judge based on our expectations esinawo thina. But okay, this is what we expect from our team this year based nakhona on last season performance, or if we think maybe we have signed good quality players that can win us certain tournament. But we forget good days. Too many things that are involved in preparation for a game as a whole. There are so many factors that have to be taken into consideration. So, so analyze ucoach akakuboni lana zange abe superior in terms of like tactical nani but singabheki kunye ukuthi kushintsha kuphi izinto like for example mangathi uyabheka manje ngiyabona ngale Pitoli bakwatile ukuthi abaphumelelanga and babagijimisa no coach no Flemingberg but Flemingberg amajazi bagcwele umoya le at Richville so singakubheki lokuthi ne system isishintshile because mangathi uyayibheka kahle kahle the system abayidlalisa umrembula uTebza ku Sundowns manje the position that ayidlalayo is not the position emsuthayo kahle kahle he's not that helpful makadlala on that position
akakutsiye leyo position man
kusupposed bengayidlali bedlala uFeynman that position before bamthemba yena uTebza was attacking even the last on ku system ka Rulani that position bedlala uRivaldo kutsiye not umrembula he doesn't give you enough of him mawuzomdefendisa even nakubafana that position idlala uyaya usithole not him so Sundowns just need Cardoso need to do himself a big favor and put back Obas into his back position umrembula Alende Adams they must just fight for that position and they must even have trust kumkhulise ku10 yakhe and say uTebza ugain makaya phambili maka attack uzodefend ahlele emva kwe-defense kwe-back four it doesn't work iyamlimit and it just become more less dangerous that's why some analysts amanye akhuluma into esingayazi athi uTito bekamakutebo ukuthi singazi babukele people lathi sadlaliwe ngathi esweni abadala
for time
you analyst
for time for time itingene ngoba
ngakhala nozila please
ngibone bavesa umpumi lapha and then abantu bathi who's this ngathi but it's fine for time ithinge ukuthembisa hayi man abazi bayazi ukuthi there's another panel angazi why baso Thembisa
ngama MTN finalist phela khuluma abanikazi
bana wow Thembisa for time welcome to the show Thembisa how are you hey Nahlupa how are you my brother
I'm good, Wena.
Come on, Nati man. So tell me about this game. Tell me about whatever we've been speaking about. How do you feel? What do you want to touch on?
I mean, a car has many components in it. And get to criticize a driver if you don't have the perfect engine and perfect car. So when we ask ourselves, what did Cardoso bring himself into? But Rulani, they put with the same players and the same structure in terms of a board. And do we think that by supportana truly to get to that finish line? Because to CAF is a big accomplishment, whereby do we meet the requirements to get over that line? Whether you coach, whether it's the players, whether it's the board, are they in sync with each other to go over the line? And I don't see that team learner because there's so much gaps in terms of the squad. Are we giving Cardoso the right material to do what he wants to do? Nah. And have we done that for Rulani? Rulani left for a reason. We got rid of him for a reason. He couldn't cross that line. Do we bring a new coach in and say, here's the material you might need to get over the line? We don't. Because we still have the same players who showed us problems back then with all those three coaches.
Could you say the same? Could you say the same Pirates that also with them, as much as we're praising Tito, we're praising Mfukeng and all of those guys, in terms of a league they couldn't get over the line? Could you say it the same for them too? And now they've brought in Wadu, for example.
I'd say so. I'll definitely say so. Even though they themselves changed a few things there, but then is it enough? I look at Cardoso and see his credentials from our Celta, Nabo assistant. He has a good caliber, but what do you say he's not enough? He reached the finals. So that says he can, but do we back him up enough? Or do we just criticize?
Should he have been allowed to sign a bunch of players and let a bunch of players go?
I think if that's the case, because had he had a vision, then they should have backed that vision. And I think they clearly don't. Abo Flemingberg are too comfortable because they tend to know that we blame the coaches more than we look into the structure of the team. Because there are no changes. When you look at the past 3 years, there's no continuities to say that we are going to go for that. We just shout that we want to win this and this and this and this. But then we don't look at it and say we are truly building towards that. We don't build towards the top standards. Our Ahly sign big players that they really need. We don't. We just sign willy-nilly, trying to give people chances and see can they fit into this structure when they really don't. So I really the management side and Abo Flemingberg are just comfortable and they don't know their job. Man City had a bad season, and when they have a bad season, they restructure from the board of directors and the sporting director himself, because he's the manager. You don't blame the manager and not look at the CEO and say, "What are you doing with this company?"
Do you think that Sundowns made a mistake changing the internal runnings of Sundowns? Because up to what, last season, Mamelodi Sundowns was a team that was family. It was Coach Pitso's tree. It was coaches that had been there for plus 5 years. You had Coach Wendell and all of those people. Then you decided to get rid of all of them. Do you think that Sundowns made a mistake in doing that? Should they have continued with maybe the next crop of the ones that follow Rulani that have been there for a while, Bo Patela maybe?
I would say, I'm not sure myself, but then I would say, had you even got into the decision saying, let me change whoever who's there and bring in someone new, you would have to really be sure about your decision making. I feel like they are not made accountable for every decision they make. Right now, we can't be in tandem with our players fighting Nabo Mutawe and Nabo Ribeiro Lapo and ask them expect the coach to perform thoroughly. When even La Pale game layer, we looked at it and I said that coming to the second half, I don't see any subs that he can make to further promote this team because there's no one on the bench currently.
Okay. For time, I'm going to jump in, Tsepi. So for time, let me bring in Tsepang to close off this panel.
That's
Thank you for the next one. Tsepang, welcome to the show. How are you?
Sure, Daud, how are you?
Man, Tsepang, tell me about the game, or do you want to touch on the things we've been speaking about tonight?
I'm a Sundowns fan, Daud. Sometimes expectations, we live up to expectations, but reality stacks. I feel like the second leg was a competition between two under pressure coaches, which were trying to prove to us as South African football fans whether they are good or what, and they tend to fail. They both failed. It's just that, luckily for Pirates, China came to the party and had one moment, that slight mistake of Grant, where he didn't see Umabas running. It led to the goal of equalizer. But honestly speaking, there was nothing much in the game. But as a Sundowns fan, I was a little bit emotional after the game because of we lost to Pirates. Like I said, expectations. But when time goes on, I see or no. Here, there are different types of Sundowns. There is a Sundowns of Pitso, there is COVID Sundowns, then there is this Sundowns of after COVID. The Sundowns of after COVID has mastered how to win the league, but they don't know how to manage games. They don't know how to manage games. They don't know how to hang on to a win. And you said it mostly, even our CAF Champions League, Global Cup, Nedbank, all of those things. It's not a matter of a coach, but ukadoso na mfethu ish. Angazi ukuthi is a yes man or what kwenzakala lapha phezulu because of ama-starting 11 wakhe nama-starting 18 wakhe, they are fluctuating. Sometimes uletla kukhona, sometimes kuza umaseko, sometimes umkhulisi ukhona ebenchini. You don't know what's happening. And that thing really pains me because of it then affected him. Utalisu Adams Wednesday, 90 minutes against Timagase, a difficult game. You bring him back, it's fine in the second leg. But as a coach, you must know that you just started the season. In 60 minutes, you need to substitute players. And you're not substituting players because of they're not performing well, but just to save the energy because of you need an extra energy. The substitution of Adams to Mkulis, it was going to better Sundowns midfield because of Pirates already were doing man-to-man in that Riemann midfield. And that Riemann midfield made sure Guti, once they get, they don't get space, they were allowing that long ball of Sibilibili or police, or sometimes we really cut inside. So I think Ukadoso lost this game based on him not able to manage his squad depth or his first 11 and his substitutions. But as Sundowns fans, yes, we are expecting too much, but we must know that MTN 8 is not our thing, honestly speaking.
Okay.
Upito used to say, guys, this is a President Cup. And Valley is a President Cup which we are not good at. It needs luck. It needs luck, this tournament. So luckily God doesn't give us luck to that extent. But I'm happy. I rather lose MTN 8 than to take the league. Because I can't lose the league. I can't lose the league.
Heaven. Okay.
It's just
Very quickly. Last sentence. Yeah.
My team needs to up the game. Make sure that they are focused. They must not let out this loose of Pirates. Think we are not Sundowns, which we are. We are Sundowns. We are still going to dominate the OT. That's my last sentence.
Thank you very much, Sepak. Let me bring in AB. AB, welcome to the show. How are you?
Greetings, OT. Greetings to the panel. All I can say is there's a bit of hate towards Rulani, and it's a worrying factor to me because it's kind of weird that I don't know if we are living under a tree. Pep Guardiola at Man City was doing a rebuild. These two people, reason I'm placing Pep and Rulani, they're quite similar people. They're both egotistical and stuff. Pep once played in a final and lost it due to the fact that he didn't play a 6, right? He's owed to do mistakes. But the funny part about South Africans is that Rulani also was implementing a style of play. There was a bit of fluidity and stuff. I once watched his video talking about reason Sundowns was dominating is because he let the fullbacks tuck in Abu Mudiba and Mudau. That means they can literally cause a bit of a wall where they suffocate teams. That's where you notice that Mokwena and Ribeiro were quite the pivotal roles in that. So to try to defend him in a way, Pep didn't win the Champions League just he arrived. He had to build a team that can literally cause havoc in terms of attacking. So Rulani didn't lost in Sundowns for 5-6 years, but now the way he was chased and stuff, now there's a bit of disjoint in everything. Now, don't you think that whatever's happening now is a bit of karma because of the way he was treated like a dog? Why not knowing that Coach Pitso gave him the mantle to go lead Sundowns, but now people, the way they are lashing onto him, it's like he's been performing bad. The team was progressing. That's why there was a bit of emotional. The players were emotional when Rulani left. Coming to Cardoso. Cardoso is a good coach, but he's not good for Sundowns. I feel like he's a bit emotional. Now Rulani is both of them, because if you notice his substitutions, if you're saying there's a bit of fatigue in terms of the players, I understand.
Guys, please mute. Guys, please mute. Respect the speaker. No, go on, Abi.
There's literally, notice how Pirates midfield was a bit of suspicious in a way that they were not good. And I felt like under Rulani thrives a midfield that is disjointed. That's why he used to Murabu Kaizer Chiefs 5-0 and 6-0 or 4-1, because he used to starve and literally eat towards midfields that are disjointed. Now it comes to question that Like Mokwena, Allende, and this boy, Jaden Adams, can't play together because they literally the same people. Now, I feel like Cardoso's skin has literally been revealed because Ribeiro's out. Now he doesn't have a plan B. What I don't ask myself is, if you don't have a plan B, why can't you take Sales and place him as a 10? Because it's literally like similar to a Cole Palmer in terms of literally coming to spaces and literally picking up the ball from the pockets. And then you can allow a bit of freedom in terms of putting Abode Tlaku and literally this guy, Mabena. Because a youngster can literally, you can just say, please, boy, just give me 15 minutes to literally just impress me. Obviously, as a youngster, you're gonna get impressed and trying to impress the coach. So him is failing the kids to literally try and take out the best of something. Sundowns as a squad, you can't come to me. And one thing I'd say, just to cut things short, the way he replies to the press is awful. You can't come to and say it's fatigue and stuff while you have youngsters rotting in the bench. Because Abu Mabena have something to prove. It kind of kills them psychologically that Umfukeng plays week in, week out. And then the coaches doesn't trust us. So I feel like it's more likely to look at him to blame than other people.
Can I just ask, just for a quick question here? I hear everything people are saying about Rulani, but I think my whole thing is, at the end of the day, you need the performances. So at the end of the day, Pep Guardiola has the Champions League, he has the Centurions, he has the trebles, he has all of those things, regardless of, let's say, maybe not winning the Champions League. Are we not giving Rulani too much credit right now, just from the sake that we like him and we like the way that he played? Because if we look at it on paper, I mean, he hasn't been that incredible, even as a head coach alone, for example. Are we not killing him with our expectations and these fuzzy memories of him?
Yeah, I hear you, Steve, about that, but I felt like in terms like it's like a team is like when you build it, it's like a baby. You can't expect a kid to literally walk the time it gets on conceived and stuff. It takes time. So I felt like there was a time they got knocked out in the semifinals, and Rulani there were conversations he had when he said that he was literally gonna do blood and sweat that they're gonna obtain that Champions League. So I felt like, don't you think he deserved a bit of chance? And secondly, I felt like Cardoso is in numerous like pressure is because he's the person to blame, because I felt like he's putting himself in the stove in terms of the way he's deciding games and stuff. And I feel like he should literally, if he lose against Chiefs, I feel like they should kick him out. I'm not gonna lie.
For time, I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
For time, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna go to agent before coach. Let me go to agent. Agent, this is member privileges. I know you say you're in a rush, so agent, welcome, my brother.
No, my brother, it's fine. I'll speak last. It's okay. Let me.
Are you okay? Okay.
No, I'm a bit unwell, but I must provide jihad. It's okay. Let them speak.
Okay. Let me bring in coach. Coach Agent, welcome to the show. How are you? Coach? Okay, we'll come back. We'll see if coach is on Z. Yeah, guys, can you hear me? What's happening?
I can hear you perfectly. I can hear you perfectly.
Let me see if Z is on. She just unmuted. Z?
Imali noma ibhokisi. Yes, ngapha kamasipala zawubhekisa phezulu bathi fasa bhakani fasa ndoda emnyama wena we-Afrika abanenkanye eziphila abanye basabheka phezulu esibhakabhakeni. Good evening, everybody.
You were having heart attacks just last week, my sister, but it's okay.
Everybody, good evening to the people in the comment section. people in the panel. Shout out to you, Mr. Adrian, and shout out to you, Mr. OT. Thank you for having me and for inviting me this evening into your panel. I am honored as a Buccaneer, and you have a sweater of Orlando Pirates. So please send it to me. Thank you. Now I would like to talk about the game, Saturday's game, between Mamelodi Sundowns versus Orlando Pirates. It is the MTN8 Wafa Wafa, the winner takes all, you know. So I just want to say to my boys, excellent, well executed, exhilarating. Everything is you know, because what is an English breakfast without eggs? You know? You decide if you want to have them poached, sunny side up, scrambled, you know.
Oh, eggs Benedict.
Exactly. Anyways, now, you know, talking serious grounds now, straight into business. I just feel like Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, both these teams are phenomenal teams. It's always, I always see them as number one versus number two of the league, you know, because that is how we ended the previous season and that season. So I just feel like Mamelodi Sundowns has their own loopholes, and also Orlando Pirates has its own loopholes, and everybody needs to work hard, you know. I'll start with my team first. I mean, we've been suffering from like set pieces, you know, and like a lot of teams, they tend to kill us with set pieces, you know, and I just always feel like my team can work hard on those, and maybe we can just, you know, get a way through, you know, because I mean, we know what a set piece is a goal. A set piece, let's say Sundowns get the set piece, like we know that if Debza is going to take it, it's immediately inside the net, you know, the ball is inside, it's back of the net, you know. So I mean, I just wish that my team can work just a little bit hard, but there is room for improvement, you know. And for Mamelodi Sundowns, I just feel like there's also room for improvement, just because they couldn't win the MTN8 or go through to the finals again, of which I am so happy. They must also work hard, you know, because I mean, being number one and number two, it does not necessarily mean that you have everything correct, you know. It does not mean that you have all your eggs in one basket. So you also need to chase and figure out why we're doing this, you know. There was this moment in the game where there was the substitution time, you know. I felt like, oh, so now these coaches they are showing off. Uguti, I have the greatest what you call, I have the greatest, exactly.
Devan. Oh, guys, what's happening?
Oh no, I'm still here. I just wanted to change my location. Anyways, I just feel like there was a moment where both teams, they were showing off that I have the greatest squad and you also have the greatest squad. So like now it's during substitutions. Like, three comes in, another three fire comes in, three comes. You be like yo. Now it's no longer competition. People are just flexing on what they have, you know. But then anyways, I just feel
Marazi flexing to finish 1-1.
Not flexing to finish 1-1, but then like I have maybe like I have Lionel Messi, you are going to bring in your Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, it's like whoa, you know. But then at the end of the day, it's competition. I just feel like that
okay.
My team, we're the Cup Kings. We'll always run and rally behind the MTN8, and other people need to understand that it is not their thing. You know, other people need to. Yeah, but I'm not gonna be so long. Anyways,
For
I
time.
just want to, I just want to say thank you so much, Mr. OT, and congratulations to the boys. We're in the fucking finals, baby.
Hey, bana. Why are we swearing? Yo, hey, Marazi, you're gonna get me banned. Let me bring you this Chicho. Chicho, are you with me? Chicho? Coach, agent, are you with me? Hi, guys. Okay, then, agent, I think we can close it off. Agent Jihad?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I don't know what's happening.
it's a bit delayed. Namesake.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
no, go for it, agent.
Shalom and to you only. You know, I don't know. I don't get it. You know, there's something they call technology. Technology is a coach that lost 2 games. It's not under pressure. A coach that has lost a game is under pressure. You know, and they're asking why was Rulani fired? Ish, guys. Rulani should have long been fired for serious misconduct and bringing the club into this reboot. Let's not forget that he manhandled a school kid for just telling him that he lost. You know, imagine a whole adult manhandling a kid because he couldn't deal with the pressure. That's a sackable offense on its own. And let's not forget that he forced the club to bring in an injury-prone criminal. Must state it as it is a criminal player, GBV abuser into the club. You must say these things and must say them proper. You know, the same abuser that the same drunkard, a convict, must say it. The same a person that goes to clubbing when the team is playing in Nedbank Cup final. You know, so we must say these things. And least we forget that people are saying the coach lost 3 cups. I know a coach that lost 6. Is it 6? Is it 5? Somewhere.
Yeah.
And again, do you know what is embarrassing about Sundowns? Is for 52 years, more than half a century, they have only 4 MTN8 finals. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know we have only one more MTN8 final than Supersport United, than Morocco Solos, than Bidvest Vets. Those are our mates when it comes to MTN8. Those are our mates.
Yeah.
Those are our mates. People that we claim to be our mates. The first one has 15, which is Kaizer Chiefs. The other one has 14. So, and the best coach ever since whatever won 0 of it in 8 years. 0 cup, 0 MTN8s, 0. Like the eggs, like 0 is like the egg they use there. You know, the co-coaches won 1. Their favorite won 0 cups, local cups. So maybe we have to get to a point where we say we are just unlucky, or we very loyal in this cup. You know, there has to be a reason. They can't be coach. You know, and I find it weird again that the coach that has not lost the game this season, we must fire him. Why must we fire him? And in the midst of it all, Uzwan is not there, Umudawi is not there, Ribeiro is not there. There's a lot of noise around the club, but we must be convinced that the coach must go. We are being unfair. We are being very unfair. Those are not unfair comments. Who are he bring based on being an abuser? How, how do you bring a criminal to your organization? What do you expect from a criminal? That's why you bring criminal records for other jobs, so they're not there. Yeah, so I
But
think this is
besides
just
that,
an unfair
agent,
noise.
isn't this a conversation that we always have? And maybe it shouldn't be. What I'm trying to take it away from is being a comparison conversation, but to being an honest conversation. Because I feel again as though some things are being used in Rulani's favor. The favorable things are being used, the unfavorable things are being taken away. Same with Cardoso. The favorable things, let's say results, are being ignored, but then the style of play, maybe it's something people don't like, are being used. Isn't this the conversation about all of this? You know, the memory of Jose. Wadu comes in. If he wins an MTN 8, he's almost already done exactly what Jose did last season at least, or what Pirates did last season at least. You know what I mean? Winning a league is not something they've done since 2013. Why is the expectation, you get me? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here, that I'm man.
No, we tend to have unfair conversations, you know, like we're saying the style of play. Is it an honest conversation? Is that what the data is telling us? Because you check the ball possession, you check the number of passes, you check the goals. That all in Cardoso's favor. And when we talk of Coach Rulani, it's like, were this forced to be reckoned with? I remember the Mendieta goal, man. Like, that goal I always speak about because it traumatizes me. You know, we're the team that likes to throw in the kitchen sink, you know. And
Yeah.
I remember on this show, I came with the point, the game was not boring, it was tactical. People don't know that. Maybe people think that we defend Cardoso because we love Cardoso. It's been a long time defending these coaches, you know. So we are having an unfair conversation. Again, you look at Pirates coach. The first game they win, MTN 8. I asked the same question. What's the difference? Because people are waxing lyrical about it. Very waxing. I was like, what's the difference? Then they lose a league game. I'm like, what's the difference? I would be surprised if Pirates beat Sundowns and it sure did happen. What's the difference, you know, between him and Coach Jose? You know, how did Coach Jose's season start? I think the first season he came.
When Stellies, Reyners and Van Veek, yeah.
But you see, people are forgetting those things, you know. Are you expecting Coach Wadu to win the league? Is it a fair measuring stick? Is it a sackable offense? When they last won it in 2013, more than a decade ago. Is it a sackable offense if he doesn't win the league? Is it a sackable offense if he doesn't start well in the league? So I think we I don't know, maybe is because now we have a platform like TikToks and stuff that you can speak about. You know, I saw people saying we never saw Pitso being beaten like this. they forgot that if it wasn't for Patrice Motsepe, Pitso would have long been gone. But what do you remember about Pitso? CAF Champions League. But then if we were to zero in and say, how did we win CAF Champions League? I'm not saying we didn't win it, we won it, but how did we win it? You know?
With an ugly football. I'm not going to talk about the other one, but with an ugly football.
We have to talk about it, that we are knocked out. If it wasn't for Lady Luck on our side, we spent 8 seasons without winning. Lady Luck helped us and we won. You know, it reminds me of the team. Which team won? Was it Cameroon that won AFCON? They won the brink of going out. They
fired the coach.
They fired the coach.
Ivory Coast now. Yeah, Ivory Coast now.
Yeah, Ivory Coast. Yeah, you know. So sometimes when Lady Luck is on your favor, it's on your favor. But in more than 52 years, we have went to 3 cup finals in Matlusi. So the CAF Champions League finals. In more than a decade.
Yeah.
We have 23. The other one, we went to it by hook or by crook, you'll choose. The other one, the other 2, we went fail. And somehow the coach that took one of the two coaches that took us there via a straight route, we must fire him. Come on, Oti. Come on, guys, come on. Now I have to be fair, man. Come on.
Okay, no. Look, I'm gonna end it off like this. Like, I guess for me, it's not about defending Cardoso. I see people are saying it defending. It's not about defending Cardoso. It's about being fair. You know, I was one of the people that sat here and said, firing Rulani is stupid. Why would you fire Rulani? I have videos where I said firing Rulani is very weird because I criticized the statement that Sundowns made where they said that he didn't get to certain goals or whatever. And I was asking the question, I know some people here, I was asking the question, what mandate? That was not the mandate. That was not the mandate we know of. But now you're firing him. And I remember the question I asked was, are you going to keep the same standard to every single coach that's going to walk through through these doors? Over and above that, I've been having a conversation here on the show for many months about being honest and being fair. Because what we tend to do is that with the things that we like, we gather all the likable evidence. We gather all of the likable evidence and we go, yeah, no, this is why this is great. And the things we don't like, we go and gather all of the bad things and say, yeah, this is where we go. And I sit back and I'm like, that's unfair if we're having proper conversations. If you're having proper conversations, let's have a proper conversation. I would say, for me, the sackable offense for Cardoso is not winning the Champions League. Because Sundowns had said just the previous year that we want the Champions League. And they fired Rulani because they said he didn't win the Champions League. So if you're going to keep the same standard, Cardoso shouldn't have made it into the season. But to be fair to him, he made it to the final, which is something you have not done since 2016. So maybe he deserves some leeway where you go, "Aye, dog, you've won and you've done this." That's what I'm saying, Malume Kuto. I don't understand it. Like, what Malume Kuto is saying here is Madness is celebrating a semi-final and belittling a final. So now he gets you to the final. His third final in a row, by the way. Even historically in the competition now, you'd say that he's done better than Rulani, let's say. Right? But then you point to, oh yeah, he did 2 finals. Rulani did 2 semi-finals. And I'm like, but why are you holding that into higher esteem for that? Or why is it used as an argument for either? Realistically, right now, him getting knocked out now is the same thing that has happened to Sundowns for years, which is, again, one of the bigger conversations maybe Sundowns and Sundowns fans and Sundowns people should be having is, why is it that we don't have big match temperament when we get into the big games? Why is it that, again, it's not that Sundowns is outplayed, guys. I think that's also something that we must speak about. Sundowns was not outplayed versus Pyramids. They were not outplayed versus Pirates. They were not outplayed in the Nedbank Cup. They were not outplayed in the Wheated games. They were not outplayed in the other Pirates games. In fact, in most of those games, they were leading. But then something happens mentally where they just can't hold on to leads. They just can't finish the job. And we've seen it now under Cardoso, under Rulani, under Mangoba, under the co-coaches, under Pitso for a while. So now I sit back and I look at them and I go, "Ay, Mara, got to corner something that's bigger that's happening here." I've got a video, for those who care on my podcasts, I've got a video where I speak about why Sundowns wins leagues and Pirates wins cups. I'm not going to delve into that now. You can watch the thing on my YouTube. But I'm sitting there and I'm going, that's the conversation you guys should be having. Not style of play. We've seen your style of play do the exact same thing. Shushan and piano, what? This has been doing the same thing. Now, Pirates, if you can hold Pirates to the light as well. Now, Pirates is through to an MTN 8 Cup final with somebody that everybody's saying, oh, is the West coach, what. Plays different football to Jose. Marana Gugu final. At what point do you say, maybe there's something bigger at Pirates? Maybe there's an attitude, maybe there's a way of play, maybe there's an understanding of timing and all of that stuff. Maybe there's an understanding of excitement that Pirates has that makes them win these games. I'll give you a snippet. This is what I've said. Pirates is a team that's motivated by fans. It's very hard to motivate fans for 30 games of a season. I'm just giving you one aspect. So for 30 games, it's very hard for Pirates to be up here every single game. Pirates, what I always say about Pirates, the most dangerous team, but the most inconsistent team. On any given day, Pirates can give you 7 if they want to. But the problem is, on one day they're here, on another day they're here. I was even joking when I said it's going to take a random Wednesday when you're playing Marumo Gallants to go Bloemfontein. When you don't care about that game, you're looking towards Saturday, the fans don't care, nobody cares. Those are the games that kill Pirates, because Pirates is the same team that is not killed by teams. I don't think Pirates has been outplayed outside of the 4-1. I don't think Pirates has been outplayed necessarily. But because they are fan-focused, it's an excitement team. What pressure does to other teams, it helps achieve the Pirates, especially in the Cups. Because when the fans are up, they are up, everybody's up, siyakora, siyawina, bumnandi. When you watch Pirates, they usually might lose one of the games early, then they go into the momentum of MTN8, this and that and that and that. The moment that momentum stops, MTN8 is done. Watch it. MTN8 is done. All of those little things are done. Now there's a gap. Pirates struggles now to come back because they've lost that momentum. You look at Sundowns. What is Sundowns? Sundowns is a team that's used to being internally pressured. What's nice about being internally pressured is that you can carry that over 30 games. That's something you can do because you just need to stay here for 30 games. There's no noise, there's no water that can infiltrate. But what happens is that when they play a final, all of that noise is concentrated into 1 or 2 days. Sometimes concentrated into 10 or 15 minutes. That's where a team like Pirates thrives. A team like Ahly thrives. But a team like Sundowns is the first time where they have to deal with all of that stuff. All of them shake. Caruso shakes, Rulani shaked, Mangoba shaked. All of them shake and they start doing weird things. We spoke about Pep Guardiola here. What was the big fight about Pep, especially later on from Bayern, let's say? It was, guys, as Pep Guardiola, he gets there, all of a sudden he's been playing 3-4-3, now he's playing 4-3-1-2, and he's changed this and he's changed this, he's trying to be too smart. I think Sundowns overthinks these things, but anyway, trying to be too smart, and he goes and loses those games because you're like, what are you doing? That's exactly what happens at Sundowns. And if you look at both of those teams, very good in the league. There's other factors, guys. Please watch the video. Support me. But I think we need to start having bigger conversations, guys. Bigger conversations about this stuff. And let's not be unfair to these coaches. Coach Wadu was 4 games in. Taking over from Jose, having to balance players that are not his, that loved the previous coach, having to balance new star players, having to balance some sort of requirements that have come back. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be living up to them, but he's balancing all of those things. You think that's an easy job, or it's not going to take some adjustment? Now, Kado, so when he arrived, the first thing we said here on the show was that, guys, it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of time, guys. And he ended up breaking all the records, the league. Namanje, it's probably going to take time. They come from the Club World Cup. They haven't made any signings. They haven't really had a preseason. They're sitting with Tembazwane out. They're sitting with Mudau not playing. They're sitting with Ribeiro, star player of the season, not playing. You only really had 2 or 3 weeks in order to get ready for the league. Now you're missing all of these guys. Surely, logically, there's going to be a gap or a time when things are not working right. That's just logic. I don't think Rulani's ever had those situations, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Hey, let me go. Thank you so much. I've overstayed, guys. I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30, for the games that are going to be playing. I think Pirates is playing. Yeah, Pirates is playing tomorrow, so we're going to be watching the Pirates game at 7:30. For those who are new, please follow if you have not followed. I drop content. I try drop content every couple of days, so please support on Spotify, please, guys. Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, please support there, guys. I'll be back then tomorrow 7:30. I'm going to release a video tomorrow. Excuse me. Please support the podcast as well, the George Mokwena podcast. You can search it up. And thank you guys for the support and always showing up and always being here, and always showing me love and always jumping in. I know we have conversations and we fight and do whatever, but these platforms don't exist. So please, if you can support in any way, support and I'm a content creator. But this is not Supersport. This is my living room. We just love football. I love football. So to make all of this sustainable, I need you guys as well. So if there's a brand deal that you see, a brand somewhere, if you can watch a video, if you can do all of those things, if you can contribute, there is a bank account. Please. Let's go as far. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you then tomorrow at 7:30. Bye, everyone. Actually, wait, before I go, shout out to Mlu Digital Wealth, shout out to Furious Programmer Olebza, shout out to Papa Khosi and Kutsiso for the gifts. Bye, everyone.